Hey guys, welcome back to A2D. We're here to recap Week 17. We had a wild week. We had some crazy performances. We had guys taking off their uniforms at halftime. We had a bunch of stuff going on, but first things first, the most important thing, Week 17, championship weekend, fantasy football. And as you guys can see, my partner here, he won my fantasy championship league. He's got the trophy going, so congrats to him. Made a bunch of clutch decisions. What? All right, come on.
And, all right. Come on. I'm just messing with you.
Nah, take it away, champ. You earned it, man.
Guys, what a week it was. You know what? I have been in this league for 4 years. I've been playing with this guy for about 10, but we've been in this league for 4 years. I make the fucking playoffs every year, and I always have my guys go down Week 15. This year, I promised myself I was going to go a different route. I was going to go with guys that, you know what, I went with matchup. And last week, you guys heard me talk about all these guys. I went with my gut. I went with who I said.
Dude.
And I blew the guy out by 50 points. I was right on every single
level. Hopefully you guys listen, because if you look back to our last show, Saturday, we had a show and we talked about it, and we called out Boston Scott, Jarrett Patterson. I even gave Cyril Grayson Jr. a shout out.
You talked about Cyril Grayson. Burrow's not really a sleeper. We talked about Burrow and Chase. We talked about how that was going to be the number one option. We talked about Stafford and Cup. They didn't really go ballistic, but they still had pretty good fantasy days. We were right on every single level last week. We're going to be right every single week. On most stuff.
I was even 12-4 in my weeklies. Not to sit here and toot our own horn, but
you did beat me on weeklies.
Whatever, that happens. But just goes to show. We know what we're talking about. We're here to have fun with this. So guys, stick around. You want to win next year? We're going to actually do a show here pretty soon, maybe in a week or so. We'll go over our number one rankings for receiver, quarterback, running back, obviously, for next year. Because, there's some guys that, moved up a lot, over the course of the year. Jamar Chase, I got him in round 8. Whatever it was, so.
Oh, he's a little bit.
Yeah, he's a second rounder, third rounder, whatever it is, next year.
He's the Justin Jefferson this year, so he's going to move up to the top.
100%.
Top, second, low third.
We'll keep you guys posted with all that stuff, but quick, we'll go over Week 17. And the biggest game of the week, really was Bengals and Chiefs, right?
And I was,
you were
right about that one too.
Yes, sir.
But man, I want to go back real quick before we go into any kind of games. I just want to talk about, real quick. Last week, if you guys did not win your championships last week because you're listening to other podcasts, they were talking. I know a name across the board last week that everybody was talking about. I know he got hurt early, was Rojo. I get the matchup. I get everything. That one wasn't obvious. But you know what? We didn't really talk about that much last week because, that was kind of a trap game. That was more of a Brady game. Brady likes to kill the Jets. We kind of went into that.
I said he was going to get 20, and he had 3.7 in the first quarter before he got hurt. So he was going to get 12, 15 at least if he would have stayed in there. Injuries happen sometimes.
Probably a touchdown. That game probably would have went differently.
But, the point is, like you're saying, you didn't hear Cyril Grayson. You didn't hear Jarrett Patterson, really. You didn't hear a lot of these guys, but from our show, we did. That's exactly the guys that we talked about, and they came through. So you guys stick around, and we'll help you out.
Yeah, and another one that I was hearing. There's a podcast that I don't listen to. I listened to the first time the other day, just because I'm trying to do my homework and see what everybody else is doing, because we disagree with guys from ESPN, NFL. I don't really go into, I don't give other people time of day because these guys are all opinionated. But I found one podcast on Podbean, actually with Spotify, and they're called The Fantasy Footballers. Well, these guys know absolute jack shit about fantasy football. I listened to that podcast for 45 minutes before shutting it off and literally throwing my phone against the couch saying these guys not only are as obvious as rank, but they're as dumb as Marcus Grant. it's just these guys. It's almost like they're reading off a teleprompter, guys. Like, you guys have to not only go with your gut when it comes to this kind of stuff, but talk to other people who are just like you. These guys that are on TV and that have 50,000 followers, I mean, they're not you.
Right.
I mean, we're going to get there one day. I promise you we will. But you know what? These guys are reading off teleprompters, or they're watching ESPN NFL.com to get who Rank likes, because Rank has, he puts his numbers into a computer and then he just spits out, the guys who are going against the 30th ranked defense.
He got one right last week. He got Rashad Penny.
Well, everybody got Rashad Penny. I mean, I've been right about Rashad Penny before Houston. So yeah. All of a sudden these guys want to talk about Rashad Penny. So, I really have a hard time with all these other podcasts. We're trying to be different. So a big part of us is we want your feedback. We want to know what you guys liked from us, what we did wrong. I know I'm playing with my hands a lot. I say a lot. I smack a lot. We're getting going. But we want to make this more lively. We want to make this more fun. We want to reach, not only the people who are already playing, but we want to talk about, reaching the youth and teaching these kids how to play. Because fantasy football is not going anywhere.
Right.
I mean, it's probably the number one interactive sport. It's definitely an e-sport.
When all the guys come over, we get together every year. It was going to be year 5 coming up next year that I've been commissioner of the league, and it's honestly like my favorite day of the year is draft day. Is when all the guys get together, we all hang out, we have a great time, we shoot the shit, and we have a great time, we talk sports, I got my buddy Chris from Ohio. He came down this year, It keeps people interacting with each other, and that's what we're about. We want to interact. We want to talk to you guys. We want to see what your opinion is. That's why it's called Agree to Disagree. Is we're gonna have different opinions. We're gonna have different views. I know. I got a bunch of Niner fans that I know that swear that their boy, Nick Bosa is the best thing since sliced bread. But I'm like, man, did you see T.J. Watt last night? 4 sacks.
T.J. Watt proved me wrong, man. I had Micah as my defensive player of the year, not just rookie of the year. TJ stole that from him last night, and it's not even close now, man. That guy was incredible. Even if it wasn't a sack, he was backing up, putting his hands up, knocking balls down, pointing Baker in the face like, I got you.
Yeah.
And
So I mean, if you guys are gonna have different opinions, and if you do, come at us. Let us know, and we'll let you know why we agree to disagree.
Yeah. So, but getting into the games, man. Sunday morning, I did my daily ritual. I went to the store. I go and I stress eat on Sundays, guys. I don't know what you guys do.
It's championship weekend, man. Do whatever.
I ate an entire pizza, an entire bag of chips, an entire bag of donuts, and that's just how I am. I drank an entire 12-pack of beer, probably 8, 9, 10 beers on Sunday. Just nervous, even after the first set. I mean, I'm up by 60, and I still got Rashad Penny going.
I'm telling you, man, you're good.
And I was good, and I'm still stress eating through that Seahawks game. But that's what I do every Sunday. I watch every game. If I'm not watching Red Zone, I'm flipping back through the games to make sure I watch every game. I watch Sunday night. I watch Monday night. Even after I watched Monday night, I had nobody going, and the game was already wrapped, and I watched Monday night. That's just who I am. So
I had Nick Chubb going. Good job, Stefanski. Your best offensive player, just leaving him on the side.
That's because he's a Viking. He's a Vikings ex-head coach, man.
5 points. A lot of guys let me down. That's why you don't see me boasting or bragging too much. I made the championship, but didn't win it, unfortunately. But it's never been about the money. I really wanted that first place. So, but it kind of sucks. I'm still bitter about it. But it happens. I'm gonna keep playing. Like we said, you don't win every time. I played the right matchups. They don't show up. Nick Chubb, you got to play him. A.J. Brown, you got to play him. Antonio Brown, you got to play him until he goes crazy, but nobody expected that. He's got the Jets. He had the matchup, so can't regret, playing these guys. These guys are all guys that you must start in your lineup. They're the reason that I got to the game. They balled out the week before. I have to play them, so I'm not going to sit here and kill myself. I played the right guys. It happens sometimes. They shit the bed. It happens, so.
Yeah, for sure.
Hopefully it didn't happen to you guys. Hopefully we got a bunch of league winners like my boy here. I made it. He won it. So stick around. You'll be in it next year.
Yeah, man. But
how'd you win yours? Let's get back to that. Let's
go
to Joe Burrow.
So Joe Burrow, I picked up right before week 16, just because I liked his matchups. I was going with Dak all year.
Shouldn't even have been available, Addison.
Yeah, he was.
What the hell?
Hey, thanks, Addison. You helped me, man. Maybe I'll slip you $5 at the next draft, man. But no, I was going with Dak all year, and even if I would have went with Dak, I'd have won both my fantasy games anyway. But so I'm not saying that quarterback is where I want it.
Right.
But I mean, I had a feeling. I had that gut feeling, and I wasn't happy going into 16 with Dak.
Right.
So I made that change. And
Dak was all year, man. Dak's been all year. That's why they're a little tough to trust down the stretch, is because of Dak, unfortunately.
Oh, and they lost Gallup, too.
Everything else, that was a big loss. But, I mean, Dak's played, he's been a little inconsistent. Some of these other quarterbacks, they're not inconsistent. They're pretty solid, so a little nervous about them down the stretch here. But you made the right call, man. I was telling you, should have changed your damn name to Waiver Wizard.
No, Majestic. Hey, the Majestic Unicorns let me. Every time I have Majestic Unicorns up there, I did change it 1 week for CMC, and I changed it back. And I lost that week with CMC, so every time I have Majestic Unicorns, I mean, I didn't win every single week, but I did win every week that, if I did win, that was my name. And now you got to put that on this beautiful trophy right here, so, I mean, right underneath,
you want that next to your name,
go Pack Go.
That's
here.
on you. You want your unicorn shit on, that's on you, man.
I might even start dressing up
My
like a
name's
fucking
right there
unicorn.
already. It says Buck Dynasty. I've already been there, man, so don't even worry about it.
Yeah, see, I'm going to be here, I'm going to be here, I'm going to be here,
That's
here,
the
and
goal.
here.
We'll see. Hey, 1-1 on there now after this year. Next year, we'll keep the rivalry going, brother.
Yeah, man. But going into the games, Jamar Chase and Burrow, they went off. I mean, Kansas City didn't even want to guard Jamar Chase at times, so that's pretty easy. That was a stack that we both played in DFS. We talked about that stack in DFS.
Dude, we put it in, and check out our page, agree to disagree. It was on there. We posted our DFS. I had Jamar Chase on there. I blew out the dude in my DFS. I won that one all day. So we do that also, guys. I know fantasy's over, for most people. I know there's a few amateur leagues out there that are still having a championship game next week.
Which we'll go into on Thursday, guys.
Right.
We're not going to do that on Tuesday.
Right, because most leagues that know what they're doing, that's wrapped up already. Championship league was this week because we got guys like the Packers that just clinched. For those of you that don't know, they just clinched. They're going to be resting guys, So that's why you don't do championship weekend the final week of the year. You do it the week before every year.
Yeah, and this is, again, for playoff teams, it's time you rest. So, I mean, if you're in one of those amateur week, we'll go over something for you on Thursday. We're not going to go too into depth on it because you know what? We're going to teach you guys, don't ever do that again. But you know what? Right now we understand I had a kid, he's my nephew, and he asked me today, he's like, hey, can you give me some inside tips for week 18? I said, don't have championship weekend on
number
week 18.
one tip.
Yeah, but
Don't
you know
do
what?
that.
I said, listen, I'll put some stuff on the podcast and we'll talk about it.
Briefly.
Yeah, the big news this week, guys, obviously you've seen it all over the place, is AB. I know we have different, we have different outlooks on that. I mean, you're a Bucs fan. You kind of know the ins and outs of how that's been running. I kind of have the ins and outs, dealing with, mental illness in the past with close ones and stuff like that. I kind of see, I'm not going to sit here and put all the blame on one guy. Yeah, you can't act that way. We're not condoning that you act that way in any shape or form in a professional standpoint or a professional, setting. You can't take your jersey. I don't care what Bruce Arians said to AB. You cannot act that way. I know that pissed you off, but they won the game after he left, so they came back after he left. So maybe him being gone's a blessing in disguise for them.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously have my feelings about it, but we got to move on. That's. I'm a Bucs fan, so I'm with BA. He didn't really want to talk about it. I don't really want to talk about like the whole mental issue. Like, who knows? There's so much that we don't know about the situation. That's why we're on to Carolina. We got to just be on to the next game. He's not on our team anymore. What happened. It's done. It's over. We got to just focus on Carolina, and I understand the approach of BA because he's not really wanting to talk about it. But there was obviously something there. Something happened. He doesn't over what? Playing time? Because there was a report that's saying that they asked him to go in the game. And if you go in the game and get a few more catches, get a few more yards and a tutty, and all of a sudden you got $1 million in your bank. So why would he not want to go in the game? So there's obviously something we don't know. His ankle looked fine. The way he ran off the field, you know, and did all that crap. He looked fine.
Yeah.
You know, the week before, he torched Stephon Gilmore all game. You know, he had 15 targets, 11 catches, 100 yards, whatever it was.
And if it was about the money,
He
he
was
would have done it again in week 18. So.
And last year, same thing, incentives, because he only played 8 games or whatever it was, and Brady was just shovel passing him the ball to get him his incentives. So I can't see us like, oh no, you're not getting that. Nah, that's not what happened. Something happened, and until we know about that, I'm just gonna push that to the side. You know what I mean? And then we're gonna focus on Carolina and just keep moving forward.
So knowing, on the other spectrum of it, knowing a little bit about AB's history, he forced his way off the Steelers. He forced his way off the Raiders. I don't think he forced his way off the Patriots, but, they didn't really give him a shot. Belichick didn't deal with it either. It just sounds like there was something there between head coach, maybe a little bit GM, I don't know, and BA or NAB. There was something there.
Something.
Sure. I know Ian Rappaport is actually somebody who I actually do trust because he's an insider.
He gets good information. Dude's he's such a square. He's the corner.
Yeah, he's pretty boring to watch, but you know what?
But he gives good info. He's got the inside scoop, so that's why I follow him.
So, he did say there was something that happened at halftime. There was something that happened, on the sidelines. You saw Mike Evans trying to hey man, calm down.
Yeah. But like we talked about, Mike was the only one to come over.
It was almost like it was expected.
Exactly.
Something was coming, and
that's why we don't know everything. Something happened. We don't know what it was. We can speculate all we want. We got a lot of people speculating on his mental thing, and I've heard stories about ever since the Vontaze Burfict hit 6 years ago, whatever it was.
I didn't even think about that.
I heard a story like that ever since then, because his first however many years, you never heard anything, in Pittsburgh, and all of a sudden, I heard that after that hit, he started acting different.
Yeah, that's true.
I heard a report saying that his brain needs to get checked out, but like I said, I want to table that because those are some pretty strong claims to put on another man. You know what I mean? That is, and I don't want to go until we know, because he's able to perform at an extremely high level on the football field still. So it's hard to tell until we know more information.
One guy that he kind of reminds me of a little bit. I'm not going to make too many comparisons. I'm not comparing person to person, but it kind of reminds me of situations with Brandon Marshall back when Brandon Marshall played. I know Brandon Marshall is now a big advocate, and I really, really like that guy for what he's doing for that community. It sounds like, he maybe had some off-the-field issues that, talented as hell.
Oh, yeah.
Talented as hell. Probably at one time was the best receiver in football, if not one of the top 5.
Agree to disagree. He was up there, though.
He was up there.
Jay Cutler was just like, here.
Yeah.
What's that meme that we see going around now? Jamar's out there somewhere.
Yeah, he's out there somewhere.
Andrews is out there somewhere. Fuck it.
But see,
Jay Cutler.
But see, Burrow. Hold on. With Burrow, Burrow throws to Higgins. He throws to Boyd.
Jamar, for sure. But I only say that because Joe actually made a joke about it.
Yeah. Jay Cutler was a trash quarterback for a long time. I know he's in the league for a long time, but that guy was an idiot. But anyway, going back to Brandon, I see a lot of similarities. Like kind of just the way they acted. Not even off the field, but on the field, some of the things that they would do. He's had some run-ins with like GMs back with Mayock back in the Raiders. With how everything went down in Pittsburgh, with what happened at his crib back out, after what happened with the Raiders, trying to force him way out. I can't sit here and say that this guy has CTE. That's a very serious claim, like you said. But he needs to seek something. Whether it's
happiness, bro.
Yeah,
you seem pissed off.
Maybe football's not where maybe the football field's not where he needs to be. I would fully support the guy if he wants to come back. I think he's a generational talent.
You can't guard that, man.
Yeah, but
one of the premier corners in football, Stephon Gilmore, was just getting cooked last week.
Yeah,
dude.
if he ends up joining another playoff contender because the Bucs do decide, they haven't cut him yet, but they do decide to cut him.
I wonder if that's why. Maybe just because, dude.
I wouldn't want to face him either.
Dude,
I wouldn't. The Packers are going to go call him tomorrow.
He's a bad man, or the Saints.
Yeah,
the
Saints are going to make playoffs, but yeah.
But if they do make it, my buddy's a Saints fan, so he was asking for it. But you never know that talent. I heard a lot of people saying that he's done. That was his last chance, his last stop. But we heard that before we signed him.
Josh Gordon has gotten how many chances? Give me a fucking break. These guys want talent on the field. they're going to go. I mean, Antonio Brown was the best receiver in football at one point in this league.
Oh, for
100%.
sure.
And he still has that talent. Whether that ankle bothered him a little bit, we probably will never know. Whether he has,
fine, dude, he looks fine.
Whether he has off the field issues, I mean, that COVID card, who cares? I mean, honestly, you ask me, who cares? I know there's a rule set in place. It's like the marijuana rule. Who cares?
There are rules in place, dude. Everybody else on the team got it. You lied to the team. You know what I mean? And still, he was on the team.
I get it.
A lot of people
right
there
rule.
when that happened, they were like, dude, he lied to you guys. He went.
I get the rule.
And he not only that, he brought Mike Edwards into the mix with him to do it. So it's like a lot of people right then were like, cut him, get rid of him. You know what I mean? I think maybe the Godwin injury might have changed that because they were BA was real undecided on whether they were asking him, are you gonna keep him? Is he gonna stick around? And he was like, we'll talk about that. When he comes back. He's suspended. Focus on whoever we're playing.
It's been stemming for a while. It's been a boiling pot for
and
longer.
I heard AB didn't like the fact that we were non-committal to him. So who knows? There was obviously some feelings involved, and dude got sensitive at the wrong time. And who knows? He might get another chance. We'll see.
Yeah. I mean, hearing what BA said today, he said that he doesn't regret having him on the team, doesn't regret not cutting him sooner. I mean, if there was major issues for a while now, I mean, you would have thought that they would have cut him a long time ago with that COVID issue, or if the head coach and receiver, the head coach is going to win 100% of the time. So maybe it is just something that sent up halftime, pissed him off, and
either during the suspension or during the game, something happened of late. It was just within the last 3 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, is when something happened. Because before then, everyone was happy, everything was good. We got a Super Bowl ring, so there's no regrets. I heard a lot of people, they should never have brought him here. Like, he helped us win a Super Bowl. I know he only played 8 games last year. This year, he's played 6. You know what I mean? So out of 32, he's played not even half of the games. But still, when he was there, dude was balling.
Yeah, he's producing. Yeah,
he was there. Sure. He was effective. So he helped. He was effective.
Yeah. Say he. I mean, I don't see this happening. Say he stays on the Bucs, or say he goes to a different team next year. What is his fantasy value then? Knowing that he
obviously it depends where he goes and depends who the quarterback is and
if you can't make it work, Tom Brady and Bruce Arians, though, where are you going to
go
to make it work?
Honestly, that's why I have a hard time seeing how talented he is. I don't see another team signing him, dude. If like you just said it, if you can't work with Tom went out of his way, stuck his neck out.
He even housed the guy.
Yeah, to come here. You know what I mean? Like. He was the one guy Tom was telling him, like, we need to be compassionate. People need help. You never know what people are going through. And that's why we, hold judgment for now, and we'll talk about it until we know more information,
Yeah. We could sit here and talk about it all day, man. I mean,
everyone has their opinions on it,
Yeah, I mean, if I would probably be comfortable next year if he is on a team. Say he goes to the Saints. I'd be comfortable with giving him a flyer, maybe in like the late rounds, 10 through 12, somewhere.
Depends, and they're gonna have a new quarterback. I don't know if it's gonna be Jameis. It might be Jameis.
I hope it is, man. He
5-2 with Jameis, dude. Obviously.
I don't think he's
so I'm a big Jameis believer. Like when Tom Brady's available, you get Tom Brady. So. Yeah. But I've always been a Jameis believer. Like he's always had the ability. So I think that if depending on, you never know who's going to come available, like if there's a Derek Carr that comes available or Deshaun Watson, you never know what the asking price is for him right now because it might have taken a hit after sitting for
money-wise, if they're going to make a trade, it's going to involve Taysom. It has to. How much that guy's making. But see,
robbery.
The only reason I hope that the Saints pick up Winston is because he was playing the best quarterback play for the Saints this year. I don't think he's uber talented.
Career because just turnover-wise, that's always been the thing.
He was playing smart.
He was managing, and the running game, which in Tampa, he never had a running game. He never even had a running back like Leonard Fournette, that can kind of do everything. Now he's got Kamara. They have a run game. They have a defense. Our defense got good when Jameis was kind of on the way out. So I'm obviously a Jameis believer. we'll see where he winds up. There's some quarterback needy teams out there. After last night's game, looks like the Browns might be one of them. So pick up Jameis if you can't get Deshaun. Deshaun's number one priority though in Cleveland.
Yeah. I mean, he's a generational talent also. So I mean, anywhere he goes, he's gonna make better.
They've been through so much crap over there. They've drafted enough. They need to address that quarterback and go for it hard. And to me, there's one clear top guy available, Deshaun Watson. Russell Wilson, I heard a lot of those rumors that he might go to New Orleans or Chicago or not Chicago, they got Fields, but either way I heard Russell Wilson might be on the move, so
Chicago wouldn't, you brought up Chicago. Chicago wouldn't be the worst thing in the world because Fields is actually kind of like a little mini Wilson.
But Russell, he's got like 8 years left. So he ain't.
Yeah, but if you brought him in on a 1-year deal, let Fields, because I don't think Fields was ready yet.
But he showed flashes.
He does show
wasn't
flashes.
ready, but next year, these guys, if you get drafted in the first round, you're not sitting for multiple years.
That's true. I mean, that's true.
That's why the whole Aaron Rodgers situation is escalating, because he knows his damn self that Jordan Love, the clock's ticking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you don't draft guys in the first round. Trey Lance next year is more than likely going to be the guy in San Francisco. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't see that happening, as to where they play together. Anyways, but Russell Wilson could be on the move, and, if that's the case, then, do you have Russell higher than Deshaun? But either way, though, if you're Cleveland, who's ready to win right now, you're big game hunting. Those are the two guys, you might want to wait around for Russ maybe, because Russ might be more ready to win right now. But, I mean, Deshaun, dude, whew. Now, have that young stud for that long, depending on the legal situation.
Just fucking spilled all over myself.
All on your lap.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. And it's Angry Orchard Peach Mango. There's some free advertising for you guys, Angry Orchard. But
he's the champ, so I'll let it slide.
Yeah, Majestic Unicorns. I mean, that tells you everything I need to know. Going back to Deshaun here, Deshaun, to me, if you're gonna, those would be your two prize quarterbacks.
Right, dude.
Deshaun, because of his age, would be leaps and bounds above Russell, only because of the age factor. Not saying that Russell isn't that dude, because he is that dude.
Right, but I mean,
but Deshaun's that dude too, and he's
they both are
8 years younger. So right. I would be. I mean, you're going to spend $40 million on Deshaun Watson, where you're going to spend 30 to 35 on a guy like Russ.
His contract is coming up, and he made his big contract already, so he might try to.
Yeah. But I mean, Russ is still that guy, man. I understand people like, oh, he had an off year.
Like right now, in a big game, do you trust Russell Wilson or Deshaun Watson more? I kind of lean towards Russ, even though Deshaun is clutch. He's always been clutch. Even since Clemson, he finds a way. And even that overtime game where he ran 50 yards, for a touchdown. Deshaun has that clutch factor also, but I just
give him the chance. I bet you he does.
Right.
I mean, he's been in Houston. I know he's played a couple playoff games. Give him the chance.
20-point lead against the Chiefs that one playoff game. Him, Hopkins, J.J. Watt.
And Patrick Mahomes, I mean, he really hit the turbo button in that game. But I like Deshaun. I think everything I'm going to go out there and say everything that's going up against him right now is bullshit. I'm not an advocate of going and harassing girls and stuff like that. But same thing with happened to Kobe. Same thing that happened to all these high-profile superstars. It's all about money, man, and there is no hardcore proof. Even the lawyer for these women can't even come out with some hardcore proof. It's all about he said, she said. You're going after a guy that was getting some massages, and I'm not saying that it didn't happen, but to tell me that it wasn't, come on.
I'm not even going to get
Deshaun's a good-looking guy, man. Give me a break.
I'll talk about it football-wise, the legal stuff.
It's going to fall by the wayside.
We'll let that play out and see how it happens. Football-wise, though, I'm going for him, because he's a top at least 10 talent, maybe even top 5.
I think he's a good kid too.
You know what I mean? So
I do.
So the talent is there. So I'm going for him, especially if you're Cleveland. If you're one of these teams that are ready to win, right now.
Right now.
Right now.
All right. I see where you're going with this.
Hey, right now, if they're ready to win, then Cleveland, go for Deshaun Watson for sure.
Hey, I mean, they're a team because Baker's hot trash, man. I watched that game last night.
It was rough.
I understand his shoulder's not right. And I understand the kid's the gamer. I respect Baker because you've heard me say it all year. I like the kid's grit. I think he's funny. I think he's got some charisma.
Might be the best thing going for him is those damn commercials right now.
But if OBJ didn't tell you everything you know about that situation, that guy's caught in 6 touchdowns with the Rams. I mean, he was on my roster. He re-injected himself.
Yeah.
He restarted his career.
Selfie.
Yeah, restarted his career. I mean, that guy's back. And if you can't hit a guy like that, that's a problem.
Jarvis was open last night, and you could tell after a couple times Jarvis was just hanging his head like, man, dude, I was open. Like, like, dudes are getting frustrated. Like, and then how many times TJ Watt, dude, if he wasn't sacking the guy, he would just sit back. He would just sit back, and he would jump up, and he points at him right after, like, I
got you, bro. I got you.
Yeah, it's tough to watch, man. My boy, one of my best friend, Chris, like, he's a diehard Browns fan. I'm just sitting there like, damn.
And you can't say that he doesn't have weapons. He's had weapons. He's had weapons.
The defense is good. The running backs are great.
The offensive line is good.
They got 2 tight ends.
Stefanski called a miserable game last night.
That was some horrendous.
So it wasn't all Baker last night, but you know what? For most part of the season, he's not a quarterback that's going to lead you to a Super Bowl at all. Let alone, I mean, in the playoffs, he did. They did have some nice games last year. They won a playoff game, almost beat the Chiefs in that game too. But you know what?
Over a half of Chad Henne. And couldn't get it done.
Yeah, so
that was because the defense was holding them. They were scoring in the teens.
Mm-hmm.
Like if Baker, you can't put up points. Look what Joe Burrow just did to that Chiefs defense. That is better now than it was last year. You know what I mean? So it's on Baker. If the proof isn't there now, I mean, then I don't know. He's gonna sit out next week. So you've had 4 years?
Yeah, next week they play the Bengals. Who's playing it? Case Keenum is going to come in. Being a Vikings fan, I have a special place for Case Keenum.
They should have went with Case before the trade deadline, kept OBJ, and said, Baker, we're going to go ahead and get healthy. Get healthy. Just go get healthy. You know what I mean?
I think they tried.
Let's see.
I think they honestly tried.
Isn't Case Keenum 1-0 as a starter?
Yeah, I think they tried. Honestly, the way I think about the way Mayfield kind of acts, he's
Case
a hard guy to
get.
get.
13-3 with you guys, right?
Yeah, that wasn't Case though.
I know it wasn't Case, but that's the Browns. They're not. They might not have been quite as built as that Vikings team was, but they're ready, dude. That line, we just broke it down. The line, tight ends, defense, even they got linebackers.
That's true.
The secondary is majorly improved.
Yeah, that's true.
Like they were just holding it down against this. The only reason they lost that game last night is because of turnovers and because of Baker.
And because of Baker, and because they didn't run the ball. I mean, for them, Chubb was hashing out 5 yards a carry, and got how many carries?
I think 8 or 10 carries.
What the fuck is that? I mean, Stefanski
what are you doing?
Stefanski was a long-time OC quarterbacks coach for Minnesota, and when he went off to the Browns, I was like, finally. And then we ended up getting somebody that's exactly like him, but I'm not going to sit here and...
Their best play on offense was a 30-yard run by Chubb, and he only had not even 10 carries, whatever it was. It was ridiculous.
And then I saw Baker throw 1 dot, and that was to DPJ across the middle. But
he got drilled, too.
Yeah, and that was a good throw.
Right.
Other than that, he just played miserably. But
it was an injury. It might be injuries, who knows. But... I mean, either way, I feel like it's time to move on. That's my opinion. What do you guys think? I know, Chris, you got some strong opinions about it. Let us know if you agree to disagree about Baker. Is he come back next year? Is he going to be a Brown? I know some guys think that they're going to give him one more chance. They picked up his 5th-year option. I could be wrong.
They did. I was wrong about this for a long time. I thought they didn't.
Right.
They actually did back in April. So he is going to come back next year. Good luck. Good luck.
Flip him to Houston, but Houston, they can't want that with Davis Mills doing it, so a trade is not going to involve Baker. They're going to have to find a third team maybe or
I don't think anybody would take that trade.
But if you're the Browns, I don't see how.
It would have to have a first attached to it.
That's tough to go into next year, because then you're basically just saying, oh, it was all injuries. Yeah. That's why he played like dog shit, is because of injuries.
He's been playing like dog shit for 3 years.
But if that's the case, he shouldn't be in there. Go with Case. He's 1-0 as the starter. He's won games before when you have a team that's ready to win. they should have went with Case at the trade deadline and see what him and OBJ could do, because he had Stephon Diggs, working, so. Diggs and OBJ are, they got that talent, so
Yeah.
I thought they could have went with Case Keenum back then at the deadline, and who knows how their season would be right now, if that would happen. Who knows?
It seems like Baker, he might be a great quarterback in
Take
practice.
notes, Cleveland.
He might be a great quarterback in practice. He might know how to say all the right things. He was the first overall pick, so maybe they feel like they owe it to him. I don't know. Maybe he feels like he owes it to them. I don't know. Move on. It's up. But how about the other guy in that game last night? I mean, that was pretty emotional. I can't stand the Steelers, but that was pretty emotional watching that ending.
It was. I mean, I predicted it. I said it's a swan song. I said they're gonna play inspired. They're gonna win. And at home, it's his last game. You saw his family there. It was nice to see. That's what football's all about. It's good to see a guy, stay with the team, his whole career, and for them to, welcome him like that and to give him that kind of reception was awesome. So good for Big Ben. They deserve that one.
What I'm hoping for now, I'm hoping for an Indy loss, and I'm hoping for Pittsburgh to beat Baltimore, and we can see Big Ben in the playoffs.
Maybe no, they won't get a home game.
They won't get a home game. They won't get a home game. But just get them in the playoffs.
They're going to beat. Thursday's show we'll go through our rundown and we'll make our predictions. But I can tell you right now, Pittsburgh will beat Baltimore. T.J. Watt, we just saw him take that defensive.
He'll set the record.
Yeah, he took that award last night. With the 4 sacks, he'll break the record. Like he's gonna, they're gonna win that game. With the banged up secondary. Deontay Johnson. Those of you that might have a fantasy championship,
put some extra stickum on your hands, Deontay. Come on.
Yeah,
man.
no, he could have had an even bigger game. It was big enough, and he's going to be rock solid, especially with the matchup.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so hopefully I can see that happen. They're just going to need the help.
I'll like him and Freiermuth this week.
Right.
Obviously, you're going to fire up Harris if you're still playing. So. But yeah, man, Big Ben. I mean, he's a legend. He's a Hall of Famer
so
without even.
Win. Who needs to win? You said the Colts need.
So
to
if the Colts beat Jacksonville, they're in.
So if they lose,
Chargers, Raiders, the winner of that game gets the 6 or 7 spot, depending on how it plays out. But if the Colts lose, I believe the winner of the Ravens and Steelers game gets in. I believe. I don't know. The Ravens might be too far back. I haven't.
We'll be a little more clear on Thursday's show when we go over the playoff scenarios and all that, winning in and all that stuff. I think the Raiders win, they might be in, which, man.
The winner of that game is in.
Right.
Whoever wins that Charger-Raider game, man, that is going to have some fireworks.
Dude, Derek Carr balled out last week. I thought we both picked the Colts to win that game, and Derek Carr was like, it ain't happening, dude.
Hey, Josh Jacobs matching yard for yard, touch for touch with Jonathan Taylor.
Dude.
That's not what wanted from me.
Right.
But that was, when I watched that happen, I was like, man, I actually have a shot. I didn't really predict that. I thought Josh Jacobs was good for 15 to 18. I thought Jonathan Taylor
but
was
like you
going
said,
to
if
go
you
for
put
30.
up 35, you were good. The reason you won is because, 1 through 9, or however many spots are in the lineup, you were effective at every single spot, dude. You happened to make the right calls at every spot at the right time, dude. And,
other than defense, but even defense got 6. So
right, but you can't. No one's perfect. If you get 8 out of 10 and they're all effective,
and if it's my defense, I'm cool.
Right, and that's basically how I lost in my final. Was nobody really went off for him, but he just solid decisions all the way around. He played the right matchups. Elijah Mitchell had 20. Damian Harris scored 2 touchdowns. So
cut. Rewind.
But play the right matchups. Sometimes you gotta trust your gut. You trusted yours. It worked out clutch.
So I got a question for you. So going into the playoffs this week, if you had to pick, they're not really a sleeper, but the one team who's going to get stronger here, like who's the one team that, if you're in the AFC, the Bucs were in the AFC, who's the one team right now, knowing what you know going into Week 18 and maybe the first round, who's the team you don't want to play?
I mean, the quarterback that's rolling, right? The guy that just won you a championship.
That's one.
Right? The Joe Burrow. The Bengals they got, the 3 receivers. They got the running back. Their defense is much improved with Henderson. So maybe the Bengals.
I agree.
I want to see Justin Herbert in the playoffs too. So I kind of, we'll see who wins that game. That's a rivalry. Could go any way. But Herbert, just that talent that he has, how good he is. Hopefully he gets in there. He deserves it.
I'm gonna say the Titans, man.
Oh, that's a good point.
I'm gonna say the Titans because you know what? They win gritty games. Derrick Henry's about to get cleared. Nobody wants to tackle that guy. If they're gonna be the number 1 seed, getting Derrick Henry back, they have Coach of the Year and Mike Vrabel. AJ Brown's getting healthy. I don't know about Julio. I know Julio's his hamstring's pretty much toast, but
their defense has even been playing a lot better, dude.
Yeah. Tennessee,
they're already the 1 seed. They just got the 1 seed.
They have to win again to clinch it.
Who they play?
They play.
I'm not sure.
Houston. They play Houston.
And they should get that.
Yeah.
They just beat Miami, who had 7 wins in a row coming in.
Yeah. And they beat them handily, too.
Yeah, they whooped on them. In the rain, they just always find a way.
They
were the less talented team on Thursday night the week before against San Francisco and found a way to win, man.
Yeah.
That's what they do. That's what Vrabel does.
Without a productive AJP.
You just said it, dude. He basically took Coach of the Year, because their offensive line, they've had, Taylor Lewan's been in and out of the lineup, A.J. Brown, Julio Jones in and out, Derrick Henry's been out this whole time, and here they are.
And they got some nasty tackles over there. I know Jeffrey Simmons is on the other side of that ball, man. They got some nasty players on that side.
Making a name for himself.
But if they can control the game, they are a team. I mean, look what they did 2 years ago to the Patriots. They controlled that game, and basically,
that was the game where you were like, look at Tom Brady's done.
I thought Tom Brady was done.
Pick 6.
Yeah. Hey, I thought Tom Brady was done. I thought that was his.
He's over. He can't throw deep anymore. And then last week when AB is going batshit crazy, I'm sitting here thinking we're about to lose, sweating, dude. I'm over here going, and then laser, little shoulder fake, boom, laser to Cyril Grayson.
Fucking Jets,
boom,
bro.
I don't care. I was
Literal.
hyped, bro. I thought they were gonna steal one from us, so I was hyped. That was clutch. We were down. When AB's, dancing around, we were down, 14 points, whatever it was, 10 points. And shoot, Tommy was like, don't trip. I got us. It was the Jets.
It was the Jets.
Not bad. It was a sick-ass play, though.
It was a nice throw.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Titans are a team I don't want to play. Sure. Bengals are a team that are rolling right now. I mean, they got some firepower over there.
But the AFC, dude, we kind of talked about last week. Man, the AFC, Joe Burrow. Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen,
Justin
Herbert. You know what I mean? Like
all these young studs, man.
Dude, even Derek Carr's playing some damn impressive football. He's in the AFC too. He might get in. But Tannehill's, man, he's crazy. He just finds a way. I should have started him last week over Huntley, but Tannehill, he's solid, man. They like him in Tennessee, and he's a winner ever since they got him. So that's a good team. They're pretty scary down the stretch for sure. I can see AFC's like.
Yeah, in the NFC, man, I don't know.
Packers are the favorite. That's tough for me to say because we're so banged up. But right now, the Packers.
They have to be because if you go down the list, I mean the Rams too. The Rams can put up some good football.
But they struggled against Baltimore.
Yeah, but they can put up some good football. But you can't really trust Arizona. You can't really trust Dallas. I mean, Gallup just went out with an ACL. You can't really trust them much. Dak's been up and down all year.
We got injuries left and right, offensive, defensive. So
what I will say about Dallas, man, is if they can establish the run, they have some young studs on defense with Micah and Trayvon. Trayvon does give up a lot of long passes. I mean, I think he leads the league in yardage given up, but he also leads the league in picks.
Right. Most teams are trailing against them, and they have to throw, so it's going to happen. It's almost inevitable,
and he likes to trap. He likes to trap guys too.
And turnovers are the most important stat in football, and he's a turnover machine. So I don't really buy into that.
I could see them making a deep run.
The only thing it's Dak. It's on Dak's shoulders on that because you just said it. I'm not worried about the run game. They got 2 good-ass running backs. The running game's going to be fine in Dallas. The defense, we just broke it down. They're damn good. Lead the league in turnovers.
Best they've had in a long time,
right,
for sure.
So it's on Dak. Plain and simple. You're going to have to go into Lambeau at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And
unless they lose.
Yeah, they could lose, but we'll see, but he's going to have to outdo either Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, so we'll see. But it's going to be on Dak how far the Cowboys go, because they're built to win. They're ready to win.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a Vikings fan, so I watched how they just dismantled us in Green Bay. They seem to be rolling right now. I mean, other than the first week of the season where they did not play good football at all,
Right.
they've really
Jameis.
Yeah, I mean, they're 13-3 now, and we beat them when we were there in Minnesota. But I mean, that was a completely different game. And I mean, Green Bay's gonna be they're probably gonna be my favorite. I mean, they're the number 1 seed. They have to be the favorite with home field. They're playing good ball.
They're getting Jair Alexander back. They're getting Bakhtiari. If he's not already back, he's coming back soon.
They have Lightning and Thunder with their running backs. They got still probably the best receiver in football. So, I hate the Cheeseheads, man, but they have to be my favorite in the NFC. And I could see.
I think overall, yeah.
I could see Tom.
Overall favorite.
I can see Tom going back in there and beating him just because it's Tom, and he can manage that game to where he finds a way.
Done that
easily,
done that.
Yeah. And Aaron Rodgers.
But
is
for
not,
us, it comes down to health. Are we going to have Lenny, Shaq, and JPP, or Levante?
Should have. I think
so many guys that are out.
Well, Lenny's hamstring. I mean, that's usually a 4 to 6 week injury. This is week 4, right, or week 3?
Yeah.
So. I think it's 3.
Yeah, 2 or 3.
Yeah, so or at least he's missed 3 weeks. So, I mean, you should get him back at some point. But the Rams, I mean, look, they're about to get Cam Akers back. Let's see what he looks like. I mean, that could really boost. And they have Sonny Michel, who's been running the ball well.
Hard. Sonny Michel's been running hard. If they got him and Akers, because Henderson, he looks a little banged up. He went to IR to end the year, so it might be a month for him. But if they got Akers and Michelle, that's a nice duo to have. They got, obviously, the duo at receiver. They got some star power on defense. Yeah, I can see the Rams.
But
they play, the Ravens.
Yeah, talk about the guy who can make or break his team. I think Matthew Stafford's going to be that guy. If he plays well.
Pick 6 against the Ravens.
He's been throwing those this year too.
Dude, yeah.
So
that's why it seems like this time of year he's not used to being in these big, high-profile games. I thought he was going to be in the MVP mix before the season started. He didn't do that. He's had an up and down year, but at this time, money time, last week was not looking good for Matthew Stafford. We said that he was going to have a big week. Start all your, Rams pass catchers, we were saying, which they didn't happen. Joe Burrow torched them, and then, Stafford was able to do what, 20 barely points,
So knowing what we know right now, okay, so the Titans are getting a first round bye. Number 2 seed over there is KC still, or the Bengals?
Probably.
Did the Bengals jump up to that?
It's probably Kansas City.
Okay, so let's say Kansas City is the 2 seed. They're going to face the 7 seed, which is going to be the Chargers or Raiders. I like KC in that game. Yeah. Okay, so the 3 seed would be the Bengals. They're going to face the 6 seed, which will be probably the Colts. We would assume the Colts are going to beat the Jaguars. I like the Bengals in that game against the Colts. So you got the Bengals moving on, and then the 4 seed against the 5 seed. I can't think that fast. Who is the 4 seed and 5 seed in the AFC right now?
In the AFC, the 4 seed is the Patriots. Or no, the 4 seed is the Bills, and then the next is the Patriots.
So that's gonna be a fun matchup in Buffalo. Those teams hate each other. They've played one team handled one game, one team handled the other. That's gonna be a fun game, man. That's a hard game to pick. I like Buffalo.
7 make the playoffs, right? 17?
7 teams.
Yeah, so right now in the AFC, it's Titans, Chiefs, Bengals, Bills, Patriots, Colts, and Chargers.
It's going to be a fun matchup to watch if it happens. Would be, I like seeing Mahomes against Herbert. I would hope that the Chargers win this game.
Chargers, they ain't scared of them at all.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I think it'll be a fun game.
Beat twice.
Twice, yeah. I would like to see that matchup again. They beat them in Kansas City already this year. But my Super Bowl prediction, if you're going to ask me a Super Bowl prediction, I'm going to ask you the same question.
It's a little.
I don't know.
It's so early.
I cannot.
We'll save that for once the regular season. After next week, we can make our playoff predictions because anything can happen. We lost Godwin. We got guys dropping like flies. If we get guys back, I really like our chances. Right now, if you had to ask me, Ollie, we just broke it down. It's the Packers. They're getting guys back. They're not losing guys. They're getting guys back. They're steamrolling dudes.
I think the reason why I asked is I don't know. I honestly, there are probably, for the first time that I can remember, there might be 6 teams that legitimately have a very good shot at winning a championship. Yeah. And that's saying that COVID doesn't reach its
right. In recent history, there's been wild card teams to win it. Like whoever is playing hot at the right time, that's why I brought up the Bengals just because they're winning. But Titans is another good one. They're getting guys back. Packers are getting guys back. Bengals are beating some good teams at the right time. So it's all about getting momentum this time of year. And we're over here struggling with the Jets. Losing, dropping guys with injuries. So, I understand, AB's gone now too. So, our chances of repeat, definitely took a hit. But, assuming we get guys back, it's Tom. So, we're still in it.
And it could be, it could change this week. Who coaches well this week, keeps your guys healthy. If I was Matt LaFleur, I know Aaron Rodgers said he wants to play. I know Aaron Jones wants to play. I know Devontae Adams wants to play. What's the point?
But let them if you have a bye, right, and then so you're gonna not play a game for 3 weeks.
Yeah, but for Aaron Rodgers, he's got that toe injury he's dealing with. Looks like Aaron Jones might be. He looked even banged up in Sunday night's game. He looked like he even came out of the game for a little while. DA keeping him healthy. I understand the timing and all that kind of stuff too. Not saying you don't do work.
Right.
But
in practice, they're not the same as these games.
What I can see happening is maybe they play a half,
right.
And then you pull them, and then you let AJ Dillon do his thing. You let third stringers do their thing, because I'm a strong believer. You let backups do their thing. They get a little bit more confidence.
Jordan Love could use some more snaps.
Yeah, makes everything better. So,
right. So the other news for the week, we got the Gallup injury. That's unfortunate for Cowboys fans. He was coming on too. He was playing pretty solid since he came back from his other injury. Unfortunate for him. The guy just always, seems like one thing after another. He's going to be a free agent in the off season, so hopefully he's okay. He might still get paid. He will.
He'll land somewhere.
Yeah, he's got the talent and stuff. He might even be Dallas. Depending how it goes, we'll see.
Yeah, but it's unfortunate.
It could affect their chances going forward. Because he was kind of. They still have 2 studs. They got the running backs. They got the line. We already said that.
And Ced Wilson, man, when Gallup was out earlier this year, Ced Wilson really stepped up. I don't really think it's going to be a huge loss.
He's just a different style.
It's not like
he's
losing.
More of a fast guy as opposed to a big.
Yeah, it's not like losing Godwin or Hopkins or those kind of guys.
Right.
So
yeah, it's not going to be that big of a deal.
But yeah, man, I think we pretty much covered everything.
That covers week 17. We'll go over week 18 on Thursday when we come back.
Yeah, so we're doing some different setups here. We like to do a Tuesday kind of setup like this, almost like a TV episode. We're gonna do some side by sides. Those ones can go a little bit longer. We'll even do some audios here, but. Tell us what you guys like, what you didn't like. We're going to try to make adjustments probably every show. I'm holding this thing right now, so I'm probably the one you're going to be wanting to listening to for the next couple months here.
God.
But,
I remember my first championship.
Not my first. It's just my first. I've never had a league where I had a trophy this sexy, though, I'll tell you that.
It is. It's nice, dude. It is nice. Like you said, we're going to have our names on each side of that damn thing.
But yeah, guys, we'll probably put it tomorrow. Make sure you listen tomorrow, and we'll see you soon.
Give us some feedback. Let us know if you guys agree to disagree. I was 12-4 in my weekly. I know we're gonna go over the weeklies on Thursday. Let us know who your game picks are. Because fantasy is about over, but the playoff chase is heating up. So let us know if you agree to disagree. Let us know who you're picking, and let us know who your team is, and why you agree to disagree. Thanks for stopping by, guys.
All right, guys.